IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Geek Fruit with fellow and television geeks Tejas, Jishnu and Dinkar as they discuss the world of science fiction and nerd culture.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello, welcome guys, a new episode of the TFG Football Podcast. I'm your host Suju, and I have both the guys, Chiranjeet and Kevin, joining me. And we once again are not in the studio. We are in our respective homes, and we bring you the new episode. Now, interesting stuff happened apart from the games that were played, and there are two more matches to look at tonight in I-League. But before that, there are a lot of news. One good news for all Mohun Bagan fans that they found a replacement player that they had released Diego, and now they've gotten a great player in replacement. That's Cameron Watson, and he's not a new face for any football fans, as he showed his best when he was playing with Bengaluru FC. I think Chiranjeet would be jumping with happiness. Are you looking forward to seeing him playing?
Yeah, definitely. I liked him when he was playing for Bengaluru FC, and he can play as a defensive midfielder and a defender. So we've had concerns with the performance of Diogo Ferreira, so he's gone, and there are concerns with the performance of Kingsley. So I think this is a pretty good utility signing, and you can either person gets injured, you can make a replacement and use him there. I think he's even played in the central midfield a couple of times, so he can even potentially replace Yuta Kinowaki if he doesn't come back in 3 weeks. Kinowaki is, by the way, apparently he's back in 3 weeks. Let's see how that goes.
So has Cameron Watson already arrived in India?
He's going to play on 29th at the Mohun Bagan versus Indian Arrows. So today is 19th. We have Mohun Bagan versus Neroca. So he's going to miss that one.
10 days
next
from now.
game. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Kevin, your thoughts on this signing?
Definitely. This guy is a powerhouse in the midfield. I'm not sure how much of effectiveness he got in defense, but I think he's more proven in his ability to go forward and yet be able to add solidity to the midfield. So more of a attacking midfielder, or at least a stable midfielder than a defensive midfielder. He will be a great addition to Mohun Bagan. I think Kinowaki and Watson, what combination it will work if they play together. It's just going to be explosive.
Right. I mean, looks like interesting times ahead for Mohun Bagan. Now, not so good news. So again, this is not emerging from on the field action, but from off the field action. The tussle between fans and cops at the Kanteerava Stadium. Now, there were a few fans who were beaten up by the cops at the Kanteerava Stadium. This was a match being held between Chennaiyin FC and Bengaluru FC. What's this whole scene about? What the reason that we are aware of anything?
Yeah, so there is a video on Twitter where I think Chennaiyin FC score, and some Chennaiyin FC fans were running up to the fence to celebrate, and this cop just comes and beats them up. No words.
So is this the winning goal that they scored, right?
Probably. The action is not very properly visible in the background, but you can see the Chennaiyin FC fans celebrating the goal. But then the cop comes and starts beating them up. So it's a short clip. We don't know what happened before or after, whether the cop tried to warn them or tried to behave nicely and they didn't hear. But see, whenever you see one cop trying to beat up a bunch of football fans, something is wrong, okay? Because it's the worst idea ever. These cops are not being trained properly. The football crowd is not like we're going to clap and dance IPL crowd. It's not going to be like also the semi-mobbish street crowd, which does...
it's not golf that we've come to watch, right? And football. You can't expect them to stand still and watch the match.
Yeah, see, there have been issues in Kanteerava before. I think it started last season. I think the East Bengal game where East Bengal were visiting Bengaluru FC. That's when I first saw issues cropping up because they had, they wanted to bring in big flags and banners and all that, and the police was trying to stop the big flags because it had sticks. Meanwhile, the Bengaluru FC fans seem to be having a completely different set of rules because they were bringing in drums and other stuff. I don't know whether they hid it in the stadium before and that's how they managed to smuggle it in, but they were okay with all those. And East Bengal fans were getting into arguments with the police that over what they could bring in and what they could not. So all those problems were already cropping up. I don't know whether this got amplified because this is Tamilian versus Kannadiga and all that stuff. I don't know exactly what happened in the lead up to it, but any policeman who just uses force like that on football fans, dude, one day he's gonna get it. Okay, I'm just saying this very frankly. I've seen police officers being hounded and beaten up because they used force in a wrong way on football fans. It just happens because Chennaiyin FC is a new club. Okay, now they just have a loose group of fans, right? But look, these guys are traveling a long way to attend their club's matches. So over the times, these guys are gonna know each other better. They're gonna become like proper friends. They're gonna become a tight-knit group, and that's when it will start. 10 years from now, if they see one of their guys being mistreated, everybody's gonna turn on whoever is mistreating them. And that's when you have a situation in your hands. That's what happens in East Bengal and Mohun Bagan games. Your friend's friend, who you know because you see him in the stadium, gets mistreated. Immediately your blood boils and it becomes a mob situation. So it doesn't matter if it's an opponent fan who's starting the fight or it's a policeman who's trying to beat somebody up. It's gonna get ugly. So that's why I think the Mumbai police is pretty good about it. Kolkata police, which usually comes to the matches, actually I think they have some familiar faces who are assigned to duties at football matches. Those guys know the crowd. They know not to just go ahead and beat them up. They know how to talk to the fans in their own language. You have to train your cops to do that everywhere in India. Takes me back to the Indian Football Forum where the talk happened when Javier Seppi was talking, the FIFA Under-17 tournament director, was talking about training the stewards and cops at the matches and how they should be dealing with the fans. So I think that's all he talks about majorly in to the second half of his topic and discussion. I think if folks who are listening to us right now, you can switch on. I mean, later on you can also listen to the TFG Unplugged version where Javier Seppi talks a lot about the way he went about for the FIFA Under-17, where he also talks about the cops dealing at the stadiums when they are told to do certain things, and they are taught to do certain things, training and everything, while handling fans. It was not very good in Delhi though. I remember one steward going to, like, when in the first game, this is India versus USA. Some steward told them to stop chanting and Shanti
sit down.
Paul, and then you had, of course, that Delhi Metro incident, but of course that cop was not trained. He completely was not familiar with football fans. So
Well, all these things I think we should all take consideration because it's not just one person's responsibility. All of this should be taken into consideration before you enter a league, before you go for a match. I think it's high time we all do that because just like Jamie mentioned while he was talking about, we don't know what happened before or after, so what triggered this. But as of now, what we know and what we've seen is something this, and it should be dealt in probably not hit people. I mean, you can also talk to them. We are fans, we'll understand for whatever it is. Well, let's talk about the footballing action now. I think Kevin will be all eager to talk about this particular match. Now, the defending champions suffered their first defeat their hands with the noisy neighbours, Shillong Lajong, and they played at home in Aizawl won, and they suffered defeat 1-0 was scoreline in favour of Shillong Lajong. Kevin and
I can already see Kevin smiling.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, it's all yours. A very good game from this one. They had the possession. They did have a lot of shots. And we saw a good fight from both the teams, but Shillong looked like they deserved to win. Kevin.
Yeah. Now, 1-0 loss to Aizawl. When did we see that last? Almost one season back. Last season, they almost went through being undefeated at home, and look at this.
I wish they had beaten them at home, man.
Yeah.
This is the same thing that we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
If it would have happened, I think Mohun Bagan could have taken the title last season.
Would have.
Yeah. Coming back, Aizawl FC, the way they started, it didn't look as dangerous as they did against East Bengal. That coordination was, little off what you would expect from an Aizawl FC, and that's the reason I was saying that they might turn out to be too strong for Shillong Lajong. But something was missing with this Aizawl FC team yesterday. I don't know. Ashwin Jarian looked a bit shaky at the back. If not, the solid punch power that he adds from. He's the one who's pushing the players up, and then we didn't see that too often coming in from the back. And that just go to show that the Shillong Lajong were high on confidence, and not just having ball possession, they were able to press. That is the important part. When you have a team that can hold the ball well, how quickly can you close them down? How quickly can you make them force them to make the mistakes? And as actually were giving in, and it was a good game plan by Shillong Lajong, trying to disrupt their normal flow of the game. And getting back the ball was not just the key to Lajong, but they had to be getting the ball more in the attacking half, and having one guy up front. I think it was Eman, and Eman was the one who was lurking around in the back line and just waiting for that one chance, and it was him. So his shot was blocked, and then it allowed who came in and finished it. I think it was Redeem Kalang who came in and finished it. But it was that one mistake. You make your opponent make that one mistake and he capitalized. The best part about the goal was Redeem Kalang was waiting for that opportunity. That typical anticipation. If you don't have a clear chance on goal, you wait for your opportunity right at the tee box or wherever the ball is coming. Hoping there will be a rebound, hoping there will be a block, and then that's where he was. What a cool, calm finish to get that goal. One goal, I was surprised to just see one goal in yesterday's game. I think they could have been, at least a couple of more if Aizawl were at their very best, but they were.
Right. Sundeep, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, well, Aizawl FC didn't turn up. Completely did not turn up. Shillong Lajong were doing what they could do best. I think the new coaches are slowly easing into the season with the task. Bobby has been slowly trying to rebuild or recreate that flavor that Tangbo Singto used to bring in, and it was good to see the way they were not immediately eager to attack. It was a slower game. Both teams wanted something out of this game, and they were not taking any chances. Some of the games are gonna be like that. Everybody's not out there to play attacking football and entertain people all the time. So yeah, it was a pretty a tight game. The goal came for Shillong Lajong. Aizawl FC just the only one worrying factor, because you're not going to win every match. Everybody's going to lose one or two matches. But the worrying factor is that even when they went down, they had a lot of time to come up with a strategy to try to get back. But I did not see Aizawl FC creating that pressure. and which was their X factor last season. They were just moving up in numbers, or just harassing the other teams with their speed and ability to move around the pitch, and everybody's that intuitive changing positions and just changing the picture on the pitch. This is I think maybe because Shillong Lajong have an equally young team who is that is equally fast, and maybe this is something we want to see. We're gonna see when both these teams from Northeast play each other, and neither is desperate for anything. So yeah, maybe that was also a case that Aizawl FC did not feel like they were they really had to put themselves out there to get a win. Shillong Lajong also, they got the goal, so they were happy to just play a game of containment for the rest of the match. So yeah, that's what in the end turned up. But I hope Aizawl FC understand that this, if they had not in any of the defeats, they actually got a lot of sneaky draws and wins with late goals last season. If any of those defeats and draws had turned into a loss, one draw they did not score at the end and they ended up losing, they lost the title.
Yeah.
So it was that tight. So I hope they start realizing that you really have to be desperate to win or produce a result or get a point from every single match, because 1 point will change where the title goes or where anybody is. Maybe and it's not even if they are if people are saying like, okay, they won the league last season, probably they won't be able to win it this season. Even if you accept that, you should not. If you're an Aizawl FC fan or a player or a staff or a coach, you should not accept that. But even if that is there in the back of the mind, there is that spot in the Super Cup that you get if you finish top 4.
Yeah.
What if you fall below top 4 by 1 point? How would you feel about this game now? How you fought back after going a goal down? So all that needs to be thought about.
Yeah. A lot of things for the defending champions to look at. Well, since this happened, Kevin mentioned, if any certain things happen early on in the season, it's a good thing to know that where your flaws are, and I think this is a good turning point and a good juncture where Aizawl FC need to go back and do things that they've not been doing right and do it and make it right. Now, the other match that we saw, again, a one-goal affair it was. The win went to Minerva, Punjab. No surprises there. They played in the Narrows. But Surajit, coming to you, is it a decent result for Indian Arrows that, they are not coming as a team like being easily thrashed? How that's the performance?
3. How many matches they have played? 3. And 2 of them have been against Minerva Punjab.
Yeah.
Why? How is that fair? They just lost to Minerva Punjab. So this is why people play in 2 separate legs. You lose to a team in the first leg. You have time to improve and make changes and evolve and try to get them back in the second leg. Right? So this kind of a fixture just defeats the purpose. Just now they've lost. And now they're playing again.
Just played on the 5th of December, and in just like a little over 10 days, they played again.
Yeah, what is this? Like, Champions League ka semi-final chal raha hai kya? It's freaking 17, 18-year kids, man. You think they're going to change in 10 days, 12 days? People are forgetting this is the first time any of these kids are playing in top division senior league football. I don't know why they had to do it again now. And Minerva Punjab, I'm not really impressed. I think they didn't have to go all out. I think Dheeraj was so great. He made so many awesome saves, and they tried to keep the game contained to 0-0. I didn't really see Arrows putting any pressure at all on Minerva Punjab. So They almost got a 0-0, but that one goal went through from Chencho, that low, tight angle shot that managed to evade Dheeraj. So yeah, it's a bit unlucky for Arrows. It's a bit unlucky for Dheeraj. I think he was a bit too much on the right and failed to cover the far post. But that one positioning error can happen when you are like facing 10-15 shots within a period of 50-60 minutes. So yeah, it's so I don't think Indian Arrows should be upset with this defeat. They tried. They played a good team, a fast team, physical team twice within 2 weeks, and first one was a proper dominance by Minerva Punjab. This time they controlled the ball, they created more chances, but Arrows gave a fight. So I think that's what they should take away from this.
Right. Now, Kevin, your quick thoughts on the match.
Decent result for Arrows. It shouldn't take it too much to their heart. I think that the work by the coach is commendable here. He did not try to go at Minerva. He wanted to just see how much pressure can be contained by these young lads. And to quite an extent, I think they did justice to what the coach expected them to do. In a way, they created one chance. I remember Rahul was who came in from the right-hand side. But somehow it turned into a one-on-one chance with the goalkeeper. And I think at least he had tested the goalkeeper. It would have boosted the confidence of players a little bit. But looking at the way Minerva approached this game, I think the second half was when they decided to just step forward and just accelerate a little bit more rather than the first half where we saw them trying to just stay in their positions and then let Minerva come to them. This is a similar game which we saw them playing at the World Cup, one of the games where India kept the shape in the midfield and the defense, and they just soaked it all the pressure, which is similar first half, it reminded me. But the second half was quite okay. I think they could have gotten little more effort if the wings and the fullbacks had to move a little bit. But it's probably going to be, if you're going to leave something at the back open and then try to fill up that gap quickly again, it might just lead to big holes. So overall, I think Luis Norton Limato should be fine with the result. Obviously, they are looking for big victories, or even big losses are not going to hurt them. It's how they approach the things as they have been told to.
Right. Now, great stuff happening here. Probably we'll see some more fight when Indians get a little time. They'll get time to evolve and come back and show us some great performances. Now, that was a very long first half. It's time to slip in a short break. On the other side, we have 2 matches tonight in I-League, and we'll have more to talk about as Mohun Bagan play Neroca and Churchill play Chennai City. So let's see all of that on the other side of the break.
Over 47% of online users in India have experienced harassment at some point. So if it's 2 of us inside this recording studio, chances are pretty high that one of us has faced abuse at some point. How do we tackle this? What do we need to do better? Come, let's learn together. Join me on Akanksha Against Harassment at IVM Podcast every Thursday. Let's learn how to make online a safe place together.
Welcome back, guys, and like I said, before slipping a short break, we have 2 matches, and the first one is a 5:30 kickoff where Mohun Bagan take on the new team, Neroca FC. Now, Chiranjeev, I'll come to you. Mohun Bagan taking on Neroca. Neroca have won their last match. Bagan had a draw against Shillong. How do you see today's game going on? Do you see Chroma, or are they still out, Chroma and Sonode?
They're still completely not, uncertain.
Okay.
They may play a little bit from what I'm hearing. Sony Node may come on for like 30 minutes. Chroma, there's no news. I don't know whether no news is good news or what's going on. But Chroma, you may see him in the starting lineup, but who knows? He may not be there either. There's been a lot of secrecy around Mohun Bagan's preparations for this game, because I think slowly Sanjay Sen is starting to realize that pacey teams, young teams, have often been the bane of Mohun Bagan, his Mohun Bagan side, basically. The kind of individual brilliance-based game that Mohun Bagan have played and found success with over the last 3 seasons kind of doesn't work when you have a well-oiled unit with youth and speed on their side. Same thing has happened. I don't even remember the last time Mohun Bagan won a game in Northeast. Like they beat Aizawl FC and Shillong Lajong when they visited, but I literally don't remember. I think it must be 4 years that Mohun Bagan went to Northeast, probably beat Shillong Lajong or somebody. So this time we've seen Minerva Punjab, another young side with lots of pace and youth. When Mohun Bagan were playing them away, they got held. Here as well, when Shillong Lajong visited, it was kind of a similar situation. Shillong were able to play a tight team game that completely contained the Mohun Bagan attack, and when you don't have the brilliance of basic and come on, they literally got bugged with injuries, right? In that game against Churchill Brothers, Yuta Kinowaki is not there, Chroma is not there, Sony is not there. 3 best players of the team out. So they just sort of lost direction, and Neroca were definitely taking notes that this is how you get them. This is how you just deflate their attack. So if that happened, there's a good chance that Neroca, who are now flying high with their last win, they have won their last 2 matches, by the way, 3 matches, 6 points. Mohun Bagan are on 8 points from 4 matches. So Neroca will be thinking, if we win, we're ahead of Mohun Bagan. So just imagine the situation that's going on. Of course, Mohun Bagan are unbeaten. But when you're playing a team like Neroca, supposedly a debut club, at home, if you draw, that's a loss for you. And I hope they realize that and they turn up and try to make a meal of their defense. And nothing will win this game other than constant pressure. You have to get like 7-8 shots on target to get a goal here.
Absolutely. Kevin, getting news here, Neroca, the team is going to play against a strong side of Bagan, but we know Bagan will be missing out on certain players, and Neroca flying high on their 3 successive wins. So how do you see this match going about?
Yes, a few players are missing for Mohun Bagan, and that's been the case for Mohun Bagan all these years. That the heavy dependency on players that really take the game for them and get in the points for the team. If they are missing, then they're always short of somebody or some heroes that shine. That's been the problem for Mohun Bagan for quite a long time, and this time it's hurt them bad. The draw against Shillong Lajong really had to put them one step behind of the other teams that are just trying to get into the top spot. But looking at Neroca, I think tonight, if they are able to just keep their shape right, the midfield doesn't try to do too many mistakes, yes, they will have to be very physical. Mohun Bagan are known to get that physical aspect of the game through their gameplay always, and it's also going to be the key for Neroca if they are to get at least a point from this. Mohun Bagan will try to go all out and get all 3 points, because they must be kicking themselves for not getting all 3 points last time. They want to apply pressure to the top teams, and I think getting the win away will be the best for Mohun Bagan. Just come sort of when they have full fitness of all the required players. So more or less, I feel Neroca has got to close the gaps between the defense and the midfield, trying to keep as much as possible the ball, and one or two mistakes here and there is going to be costly for them, because it's going to be difficult for them to come back. If they're able to hold on for the first 60 minutes and even probably get in a goal, I think they're in a good position to finish the game there.
Right.
One of the things that I need to point out, Mohun Bagan have 2 foreigners available to them right now. Okay, and that's what they played with, 2 foreigners against Shillong Lajong. Shillong Lajong played with 4, and it's becoming a factor. They have Neroca have 5 foreigners available to them, right? And they got Williams, Kitamba, Vorde, Chidi. 4 foreigners they used in the last game. So you have a situation like that, and what happens is that Sanjay Sen starts thinking defensively. He just goes into a shell and thinks, okay, let's play this out and try to get a point, which has been Mohun Bagan's doom. Whenever he thinks of let's get a draw, Mohun Bagan end up losing. So I just hope he doesn't do that again.
Okay. Goals from you, Chiranjeev, for this game.
Ooh, I hope a 2-1 win for Mohun Bagan.
Mm-hmm. Kevin?
Yeah, 1-1 maybe. Just from Mohun Bagan.
Okay. Interesting. Now, the other match that we have, these are the 2 teams who were struggling initially, but I think slowly they're finding their groove. But here they are facing each other. So, who we pick here as a winner, I'm going to leave it to the boys. Churchill Brothers versus Chennai City. Kevin, I'm going to start with you. 2 struggling teams who are slowly finding rhythm, but they're going to play against each other. So what are you looking forward to in this game?
You're right. Just these struggles, but then the last games obviously showed how much they're capable of. I was particularly impressed with Chennai City. The way I think sometimes it's the luck factor that just throws you out of the window in a game and play so well. And I think in the last game, the luck factor really just killed them. Other than that, they had played a superb game. Sairaj, Edwin, these guys who are being carried forward from last season are always taking they're trying to keep the team together and just pushing all the way to get 1 goal. But somewhere it's that the confidence that kills them is can you go and score? It's always making up the best of moves and trying to play someone else to go and score the goal. Rather than that, I feel they are the ones should be they are the ones who should be trying to get in the goals for the team. For me, they've been the best of midfielders, they've been the best of wingers, but they don't want to finish themselves. Maybe that is the problem with most of the teams, but they're expecting only the strikers to come and finish. So that's Chennai City. Churchill Brothers. So Nicholas Fernandez is one player I pointed out last time around that he's excellent, and we saw his game last time as well. His crosses are deserving of much more than one player in the box. They have to go body forward, use his pace. His quality crosses need at least 3 players who can just come in. Even if somebody misses his header, there has to be somebody at the back post coming and finishing. These ways is. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game for some reason. When you have teams that have struggled to score, and playing each other, it's always a possibility that you'll have a lot of goals, maybe scrappy goals, but there will be goals.
Yeah, right. Chiranjeev, now coming to you. What do you have to say? What are you looking forward to this?
The two teams struggling to avoid relegation, going up against each other. Churchill Brothers, the way they played against East Bengal, finally it seemed like they were sort of getting their attack back together. And the way Chennai City put up a fight against Neroca at their own home ground, it looked like they were trying to get back into the game as well. So Joachim finally got that goal for them. I'm thinking Churchill Brothers would have a little bit of an advantage over Chennai City at this moment, because Playing at home, they have been their attack has been overall a little bit more successful, even though Chennai City got a draw earlier on. Maybe Churchill Brothers will get a little bit of a heavy result against Chennai City, but who knows? Chennai City may end up using their superior people in the defense. Shumenko is actually pretty good. They got Susiraj and Monsang over there as well. Slowly try to manage to use some pace to wear Churchill Brothers down and sneak in a victory. Both teams will be a little bit desperate because they know this is a chance to just go a few points clear of the relegation spot. And that's what we've been hearing, that Chennai City are actually vulnerable to relegation, because both Minerva Punjab and Chennai City were given 1 season's immunity. So this season we don't have any team, any club. I think only Gokulam is immune from relegation. So Chennai City and Churchill both are, they can be relegated. So this will probably be a survival battle, the first survival battle of the season. And it's a surprise that it's happening just 4-5 rounds into the league. So yeah, it's going to be a treat. I think the game is actually going to be the best game that we've seen this week so far. Count Monday and Tuesday's game. I think Mohun Bagan Neroca will happen one way, but this is where players will be a little bit desperate and going all out on the attack.
Okay, well, let's hope for that, and let's hope for a great Tuesday action coming our way, and let's hope for a better football match from both these teams. And we've always been looking forward to I-League games, because as of now, none of the matches, just for record's sake, have been a goalless draw. So there have been goals in all the matches, and it's amazing to see how teams are desperate enough to get those 3 points. And that brings us to the end of today's show. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, then please show us some love. Like, share, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon so you get updates of our new episode. And like I said, we also have a TFG Unplugged video out there where you would want to listen to Javier Sethi of what he has said and his experience that he's gone through being in India during the Under-17 World Cup. That said, you can also talk to us directly on Twitter. Chiranjeev Toja, Boza_Kevin, Suji94. Have a great day, guys. You can also read about all these stories on our website, thefangirls.com. Follow the TFG Football Twitter handle for all the updates and live updates for Indian football. That's all. Have a great day. Enjoy the match. And that goes tomorrow because we're a daily show. Cheers.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started atkt.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through atkt.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. atkt.in.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया, एक्सक्यूज मी.
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, टिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर सकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप, सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.